Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Wareham Planning Board meeting of Monday, March 23rd, 2026. The time is 6 p.m. and we are meeting in the Multi-Service Center, room 520 at 48 Marion Road, Wareham, Massachusetts. We are also available online through Zoom, or you can view us on Wareham Media. So first item on the agenda is roll call, so we'll start with Mike.
Mike Baptiste here.
Julie Moran here.
Sam Colby here.
Carl?
Al Schultz here.
And Jane Gleason here, so we have a full board. Moving along, preliminary business, approval of meeting minutes, February 9, 2026 and March 9, 2026. And I think we might not have,
Do not have them yet.
Okay, they're coming.
I think it's just a failure of me to send them out to you guys. Let me search what I have and I'll get them over to you.
Okay, well, we can postpone voting on them to our next meeting, so everybody has a chance to review them. Item number 2, zoning rewrite presentation with Judy Barrett.
So I talked to Judy on Friday. She just isn't in a position ready to give that presentation.
Okay,
My conversation with her on Friday and on Saturday actually went very well. She's still progressing forward.
okay,
And we have one of those meetings the second week in April. And we're hoping to have some stuff from her by then.
so the 13th, we've got another
Yeah.
meeting, okay.
Yeah. I don't know if it makes sense to have her come to you guys as the planning board that night. Maybe it's something we could discuss.
We could talk it over with her and see
Yeah.
whether that makes sense, if it's helpful to her to just launch right in, be steeped in Wareham for a day, so to speak.
Sure.
Okay, so that's not happening tonight. So item 3, the citizen petition amendment to zoning bylaw Article 952 off-street parking proximity. I don't
So
know.
I kind of asked for that one to remain on the agenda,
Yeah.
just to give you guys a little bit of an update. After giving it some thought, I think there's a way to maybe amend the language of it to make it, more precise in what's trying to be accomplished. Understanding, Carl and the board had some real concerns about the way that it's written currently.
Okay,
One thing I am currently waiting on an answer for is how much the warrant can be amended now that it's already been approved by the select board.
Okay.
Because my revisions would entail amending it.
yeah,
And I think that would be at the discretion of the moderator.
and presumably at the discretion of the petitioner?
Yeah, well, I sat down with the petitioner and we
Okay, and
kind of
worked this out, yeah,
I wouldn't say entirely worked it out, but maybe
Yeah.
have a plan moving forward.
yeah.
Um,
So something that would happen on town meeting floor
Have you
is
talked to
is
Margaret?
maybe the best avenue.
I've reached out to her, I haven't heard back.
Okay.
And I guess the amendments that I've proposed to what's currently written, I think arguably are a reduction in the scope of the article. So maybe there's some room for us to play with there, as it's not an expansion of the article.
Yep.
But I still want to get that opinion from Margaret and town
Yeah,
council.
so speak to her before town meeting and,
Right, and I've sent them an email to kind of get that ball rolling as
okay,
well.
okay, all right. Cool, good to know. And we've got it on the agenda for the, we
I'm
had it
gonna-
on for the 13th for,
Yeah, I'm gonna publicly advertise for it to be on the 13th.
okay,
Understanding
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that would be the first public hearing that you guys are reviewing it at.
Right. And if we need to, we have the potential to do a meeting on the 27th prior to town meeting. So if we
Right.
needed to vote then
Yeah,
on whether to recommend or not, we could do it then, on the 27th.
correct. Hopefully, what I'm hoping for is I can get some type of response back from town council. I can kind of draft up some language that may be more appropriate and hopefully get it to you guys before the 13th for you to review and
Okay.
give some consideration to.
Okay. All right, that sounds good.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Hi, yes. When you're ready, I have a question for Josh.
Go ahead, please.
Through you to Mr. Faraday. Josh, if I remember correctly, when we were discussing this with Alan 2 weeks ago, and I had some concerns about parking, I think in the Wareham Village. That's where I remember. You said there was a study. I don't want to. I think I heard you say there was a study that said there was plenty of parking in the village. Is that correct? Did I hear you correctly?
Yeah, from my understanding, I think we've done a number of studies on the parking situation in Wareham Village. I currently have one of them open on my desk, and I'm trying to put together a little report for you guys on that one. But with it being the most recent one that I found, I want to say it was dated 2008.
Okay. Well, so my request was going to be, and you're actively working on that. 2008, I didn't even live here. So I haven't seen that study. So I was just wondering if you could share it, but if you're going to write a summary, that's great. But 2008 was a long time ago. Things have changed a lot. So
Yeah.
that will be another concern I have. Next question, Madam Chair, through you to Mr. Faraday. Has the redevelopment authority weighed in on this and the impact on the downtown village?
No, we have, speaking as a member of the redevelopment authority, we have not discussed this and how it would affect downtown Wareham.
Okay. Those were my two questions. Thank you.
Okay. So I guess that with your summary of some of the paperwork you're putting together, or the material you're putting together, we'll have a chance to review this further on April 13th at our next meeting. So moving right along, continued public hearings. Item 1, 14-25, Waterwiz, 3031 Cranberry Highway, LLC. Site plan review, 3031 Cranberry Highway. Once you're seated, if you could state your names and spell them for our scrivener.
Sure. My name's Taylor Dowdy, Dowdy, with BSC Group, professional engineer for representing Darling Development for Waterwiz.
And my name is Bo Akers. That's B-E-A-U, Akers, A-K-E-R-S. And I'm an attorney at Bransky Levinson. I'm here on behalf of the applicant in lieu of Attorney Bransky tonight.
I'm David Darling, D-A-V-I-D, D-A-R-L-I-N-G. I'm with Waterwiz, one of the owners.
Thank you. And as I've been instructed, I need to have you raise your right hand and swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
I do.
I do.
Thank you. So where we left off, we met last, if I recall correctly, back in November was our last meeting. Is that correct? Something like that.
That's right.
And there have been a number of back and forths with Alan and Major. We've got Phil Cordero here tonight. And my read on the latest set of comments, it looks like most everything has been pretty well resolved. Is that an accurate statement?
Just, Madam Chair, just confirming for the record, Phil Cordero, Allen and Major Associates. I did issue a letter today, so I just want to confirm you actually are reviewing against that one.
Yep.
And if that is the case, then that is the case that they have resolved pretty much all of the matters that we had raised. I do have two technical issues to raise to the board for board discussion, but technically speaking, they've satisfied everything at this point.
Okay. Yeah, I've got the March 17 letter, and I saw that one came in at like shortly after 5 o'clock, so I haven't had a chance to look through that one.
We've been working with the applicant's engineer. He's been feeding us information real time, so
Yeah.
reacting as quickly as we can. We knew we had a meeting tonight, so in absence of you presumably not having read it, I'm here. I can relay over the content of it for further discussion.
In Phil's defense, I think he sent it maybe 4:45. And it was just, I couldn't get it
You
out
were buried.
any
I would
faster.
like those 15 minutes back, please. I'm just kidding.
You really have to start looking at 5:19.
Oh, you're not.
I have to start looking at 5:15, I guess.
Yeah,
I looked
yeah.
at quarter of 5.
I realized that as I was walking out the door and pulled my phone out and clicked, oh, look at that.
Yeah, right.
Can I read that or not?
Don't read it in the car.
Yeah, no, not while you're driving. So was there anything of note that changed
So
from the 17th letter to the current one?
So again, between those two letters, they've addressed the technical comments. The two matters that I would raise for the board, one is we had raised a couple of comments on general access to some of the existing buildings relative to the fire department. Because they're making modifications to the circulation in the parking lot, it affects what historically has existed on site. We raised, as we typically do, for the applicant to speak with the fire department, make sure the fire department is accepting of the changes, given that the site's been there for quite a while. So we will mention that we've not seen any correspondence from the fire department. Maybe Taylor can speak to it tonight and decide. The matters are not overly problematic, but we do want to ensure the fire department weighs in to the extent this board wants their comment on record. Then the second comment is, this project by and large is really traffic dependent, given what they're trying to do with the circulation and the access on 28. They did submit a traffic memo. Everything is fine and in accordance with that. In that memo, they had suggested some improvements within Cranberry Highway for traffic control relative to some flexible bollards. As Taylor is aware, we had asked him for some additional information on the bollards, the placements. He had indicated that he would provide a plan. We haven't seen the plan. He sent me some information today. We haven't seen the plan. That's not necessarily the end of the world because
Is that that?
that is the bollard.
Okay.
But what's of interest is where those bollards are
Got it.
going within Cranberry Highway.
Got it.
That would be helpful. I think it'd be helpful to have in the record. That having been said, 28 is a DOT-controlled roadway, and anything that they're suggesting is subject to a DOT permit, and they have to satisfy Mass DOT. So in the letter today, I simply state, we didn't see the layout plan. It's not the end of the world. I recommend that if the board does wish to close and act on the application, that you consider a condition that when they do apply to DOT, that plan is provided to the board so you know that what they've agreed to here with you actually is making it to DOT for their considerations and to make you aware of that process. And then lastly, as part of the directional maneuvering along Cranberry Highway, we had made note in the previous review about some signage. Access to this site is really dependent, or efficient, fluid access to this site is really dependent on a number of signs that they're placing around not only Waterways but along 28. One of the comments that came back is they have an understanding with certain neighbors about placement of signs. So I flag that for the board insofar as to determine whether or not that's an easement, there's an understanding, there's a written agreement to allow those signs to exist, simply because the efficient flow of traffic is dependent on the placement of those signs. And if for any reason any one of those homeowners, those adjacent land owners, decline to allow permission in the future, that may materially alter that flow.
Yeah.
So my suggestion is with the applicant here tonight, maybe to hear more about that and then allow the board to act from that point.
I seem to recall a document that had photos of the signage
Photos,
in place and locations of them on a bigger site plan. Is
you
that right?
recall correctly, Madam Chair, they did provide that.
Yeah.
What I was raising is the permissions to actually have
Right,
those signs
right.
there, whether it's within the, we had raised whether it's within the state highway layout, But apparently, it's based on agreements with those landowners to place those signs.
Yeah, so permissions, I mean, it's all been documented what it is you're seeking permission for, so, yeah. I think that probably makes sense to get something in writing so that if, say, a store manager changes, you've got something established in writing that says what needs to happen, or what is understood to happen.
I have a couple of questions,
Yep.
Madam Chair, if I could.
Yes.
And Phil, I apologize, I didn't read the.
That's
so,
okay.
I did study the March 9th letter, and I'm glad to hear that our applicant took all that to heart and has made a lot of changes. That's great. I think what I'm looking at is really what the items that you just, I see there's about 4 or 5 that you just mentioned, we could include that as conditions. And I'm particularly, if the DOT comes back and there are changes that have to be made, then I think it may be that they have to come back to us. So I think that's what I would certainly, DOT, the bollards and everything else, there's a lot going on there, so you may have DOT come back. So just so the applicant would know, they'd have to want to come back to us if there's, had to be a change in the plans or the.
Yeah, my suggestion is, they've obviously affirmed those flexible bollards.
Yep.
By providing that to record, it's really to state, we gave DOT what we told you we were giving to them, and there's no, I'm not suggesting funny business, but that things don't fall by the wayside. Provide that material, and then it gets a life of its own with Mass DOT, and they should report back to this board through the director what those conversations are, and if it warrants a further review or a modification with this board, they should come back.
So that's what I would suggest that are one of the conditions. Fire department, I think we could make that a condition as well. I know there were conversations with the fire department. I know you made some changes that they requested, so, our ongoing,
Yeah.
our ongoing request from the fire department, can you
Where the
put
fire
it in writing?
department is, well, and the fire
yeah,
department is
so
not part of the town,
I think
so
we
that
could
complicates
make
things.
that a condition that that we get at least confirmation in some way that they're satisfied. And then I think as far as the signs, I know that in the March 6th letter, March 9th letter, we talked about the gas station and the signs. And I think they have access relative to it by way of an access easement. So again, I think that could be a condition as well, to make sure that, because that's a critical,
maintained,
yeah, they're critical abutters that we need to make sure that it's clear.
Yes, that their
The signs are
access is
clear.
maintained.
And I think that, and again, I think on the signs as well, again, I think we could condition, address these things with conditions. So that's pretty much everything else, to the extent that Alan Majors is satisfied. I flagged all the outstanding, so it sounds like everyone is satisfied at this point, so I have no further questions.
Madam Clerk? Madam Chair.
Yes.
Used to the courtroom. But there is something that I do want to make a note of or bring up. So the issue when it comes to the signage, right, and abutters and rights between the parties. I understand the concern of wanting things perhaps in writing or license, et cetera. But my concern here is that one, the municipality itself, the planning board or any other board, it's outside of their jurisdiction as far as the property rights between an abutter and for instance, my client here, the applicant. So I just want to just be mindful of that, if that's something that would be a right between the parties, and the only jurisdiction that anyone has would be the court when it comes to those matters. And I'm not saying that to try to shoot these thoughts down, because I understand where you're coming from, right? But I do just want to mention that as something that I wouldn't want to see turn into a hook or a snag here in this process and approval.
Yeah, I'm not sure that it's really, I don't want to speak for the board, but I guess I don't see it as a deal breaker, just something that would firm up a condition that you all have already established, and just to make sure that it continues in the same manner.
Being a good neighbor.
Yeah,
And-
being a
and-
good neighbor.
And again, I'm not asking to look at the easement, but in number 6 of, again, the March 9th letter, and I haven't seen what the response was. A&M had called out the fact that the modifications proposed have to make sure they will not have an impact on access. There is an existing access easement, which you have represented, which we accept. And the plan appears to have proposed parking spaces within the easement. The applicant should review the language of the easement and coordinate as necessary with the abutter. So it sounds like you're saying you've reviewed the easement and you have coordinated with the abutter, so you don't anticipate any issues.
Correct. We're providing the exact same access that easement provides now.
Okay?
And on the plan set that's in front of you, we're providing that exact same
Okay.
access in the
And
future.
you've talked with the owner, which is Ferris Realty, so they're satisfied.
We did that like 2 years ago, because when I
Yeah.
think when we first came in front of the board, we got a letter from, I think it's GAF Engineering that's doing that
Correct.
gas station.
JF.
Yeah, and they put a letter, like, not a stop, but a request for more information, so we were able
Okay.
to coordinate with them back and forth. Might have been 2 years ago now. It's been a long
Yeah,
process.
I guess I see the easement as a completely legally binding
Sure. Yeah.
thing. But the signage that we're talking about is a little bit more loosey-goosey, and the idea of getting something in writing from the property owners maybe makes it a little bit more robust, a little more substantial. But we're not looking for a legally binding.
No, but it sounds like you've had conversations, and given that, and again, Phil, I haven't seen your response on that item, but I assume that you're satisfied.
So I am satisfied, and I concur with council, obviously,
Yeah.
in terms of what the board's rights
That's
are
right,
versus
and I
property
agree.
owner rights.
As a
We don't-
retired attorney,
Right.
absolutely.
We don't
yes.
want to tread into
Yes.
those waters.
Yeah.
No,
Um,
I don't know that we're looking to do that. I
No.
think we're
Right.
just
No.
trying to make sure that you.
To the
are-
max extent that's
Sure.
possible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just reiterate, though, they've asserted on their traffic management plan about placing a number of directional signs that really make the site work.
Sure.
And those work accompanied by the site plan improvements for the parking.
Yeah.
But if any one of those exterior sign elements gets taken out of the equation, then there's an effect there.
Yeah.
The flow along 28, traffic backup, who knows? And I'm not suggesting that may actually happen.
Yeah.
Sure.
But they have provided that these are the signs necessary for them to run their operations.
Okay.
And paper trailing it in some fashion.
Sure.
As loosey-goosey as you
Right.
can within the confines of the
Right.
site plan review, may not be the worst thing, as much as the owner and council are willing to provide.
Well, and it may also be that this is a slight, but a change from what the existing condition is, and that once it's happened for a couple of years, there will be sort of a momentum behind it, and people, maybe if the signage goes
They'll know
away,
how to-
one or two
yeah, how
pieces
to
of the
maneuver.
signage go away, there's going to be enough sort of communal understanding of the traffic pattern, and it won't matter.
Yeah, when, I think when the road, Cranberry Highway was first being redone, when they were first putting in the concrete
Oh,
median.
completely
It was
confusing.
chaos. Last year and the year prior, I believe, some of the traffic concerns we've done within the park. So we've essentially instituted this traffic flow in the existing parking lot to some degree, where we're bringing people in, we're queuing them in, we're creating a queue line. So we've been able to drastically reduce any kind of backup on Cranberry Highway. And the previous ownership as well was a little less thoughtful about the traffic backup, I guess.
Yeah.
And so we've internally managed the traffic a lot better with Taylor's guidance and the team over there of understanding the queuing, getting the cars off the road operationally. We have a lot of signage within our parking lot to let cars know, pull up, don't stop. We rope it off. We make you go to the furthest point in the back to get the cars off the road. Where when I bought it, they were right at the front and telling people where to go, and that
Yeah.
creates that traffic backup.
Yep.
So a lot of the signs on that plan are really, most of them are internal, telling you to take a right only out of the entrance. Now, when the entrances get redone according to this plan, will actually be more eastern well, our entrance will be more eastern. Our exit will be closer to the park. And then those flexible bollers will come into play where you can't jut across
Right,
and
and
get
try
through
and
that
get into
turnaround,
that-
right.
the
So
U-turn.
you'll have to take a right and go down down
To
the
the
road.
next U-turn
Right.
possibility.
And so our signs now have, no U-turns, right turn only, coming out of our parking lot. We have signs in the parking lot, right turn at next light, left and, off-site parking, Cranberry Highway. We've also done a lot of things internally when we're sending you emails and buying tickets. We sell a good amount online now. So we're letting you know where our on-site parking is, where our off-site parking is. We do have the former Wendy's site, which we own it, so we have the ability to put a sign there. We also have the ability to use Ocean State Job Lots parking lot, so we can put a sign there. And then with this plan approval, the thought would be to put a new monument or pylon sign in with a reader board potentially, as long as it, passes through the right bylaws and codes, which on there we can put lot full, please see additional parking. So between all of these various things that we've done, we've already seen a drastic improvement in the ability to control the traffic backing up onto Route 28 over the last couple of years. I've been on Route 28 coming down to the park when it's closed, and the traffic's backed up onto 25, and it has nothing to do with the park because we're not open, but it has to do with everything with the light timing and the medians and the turnarounds and everybody trying to bypass the bridges and coming through the beautiful town of Wareham to get to the Cape. And so we're fighting a lot of different factors, and we're all fighting the same ones. But I do think that the only thing we haven't done is this entrance-exit switch.
Yeah.
We're still bringing people into the park currently with the current configuration at the closer to the park. Yeah, the western side, right. And it's just due to the fact that we have 3 openings now. In the future, we'll have 2. And the biggest issue was that easement at the gas station. In order to flip the flow around, we couldn't, because you'd have cars. That gas station can only take cars coming from west to east. And if we have cars trying to come out when they're taking their cars coming in,
Right, you got a problem.
it's a major problem.
Conflict.
Yeah,
Because we had it the other way, and that was partially why they kind of sent us the letter, like, hey, this isn't going to work. And so that's why we had to do it, the flow, the way it is now.
Yeah, which makes a lot of sense, I think. I think it's a huge improvement over what you've
So I
had.
think a condition could be, as you said, maintenance of the signage that you have in your proposed plan. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, I think,
I have no more questions.
Madam Chair, Mr. Schultz has
Mr.
his hand
Schultz.
raised.
Thank you. Madam Chair, through you to Mr. Cordiero, I believe. I'm going to direct my question to him at first. I have reviewed the materials. I did skim the 515 or 545 letter. And I appreciate all the comments the applicant has made about traffic management and the comments that A&M have made about traffic management. My specific question is, at the November meeting, we had a recommendation from A&M for a traffic study, and we requested the traffic study. I have not seen any comment or discussion, and I may have missed it, so that's why I'm asking the question of a traffic study.
Through you to Mr. Schultz, Madam Chair. They did submit a traffic study, I guess it would have been back in February. So the comments that we reviewed in terms of traffic generation, circulation are based off of their traffic report.
Okay, I missed that document. Thank you.
Sure.
Oh, well, just one more clarity. So you're satisfied with the traffic study then, Mr. Cordiero?
Yes, we have to understand collectively some reasonableness here. We don't own the roadway. DOT put all those improvements in, so it's really that corridor study really is relegated to DOT. The site plan review bylaws require them to provide traffic impact statements, which is why it was requested. But in this particular case, it wasn't so much about the capacity of the roadway or levels of service or the number of cars, because that's DOT's jurisdiction. It was more of an understanding as to how their turning movements, their entrances, their exits tie to that roadway. And in that regard, their traffic study was adequate for that. Yes.
Okay, yeah, no, I appreciate all the work they've done on traffic flow management. I appreciate that. Somehow I missed the traffic study document. Madam Chair, through you to Mr. Faraday, is that posted on the web? If it is, because I want to go look for it.
Yeah, I will double check that this evening for you, Carl, and if I don't see it there, I'll get it to you directly.
Thank you. That's all I had, Madam Chair. I thank the applicant for all the work they're doing on the flow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any comments?
I'm good.
Comments? I did have one question that, here we are, deep in the weeds in all the details, and this is a little bit higher view, 5,000-foot view. There's one island that I'm curious about and why it doesn't have a radius, and that is the one that is right next to the longer bank of handicapped accessible parking stalls. And it's one that looks like it's gonna get clipped by the traffic that's moving in this clockwise direction.
We could certainly change that if you'd like, but this is Cape Cod berm, so it is mountable curb.
Yeah, I'd
not
hate
vertical
to have
granite.
them driving over all the landscaping
Plantings,
or,
yeah.
yeah,
I'm happy to change that up.
okay, yeah, it just looks like it would be a little bit of an impediment. And my other question, equally 5,000-foot view question, that I think would be good for future reference on these drawings, is some indication of where the entrance to the park is at the western side of what is the subject real estate. Just because it's a property line right now, and I just don't, it's not clear to me.
Yep,
So,
understood.
other than that, I don't have any further questions.
Want to close?
No, I want to offer the public the opportunity to come up. If anybody is here to speak from the public, now's your opportunity. Nobody here? Seeing no one? I think we can,
Anything online, John?
I think we can vote to close the public hearing.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Mike Baptiste, aye.
Julie Moran, aye.
Sam Corbett, aye.
Carl?
Carl Schultz, aye.
And chair votes aye, so 500 to close the public hearing. And do we need more discussion? Anybody? Carl?
No, I'm good.
So we can take a vote?
Yep.
I would entertain a motion to approve the site plan review for,
Madam Chair, a point of order on the wording. We don't approve site plan reviews.
thank you.
We have to get the proper wording.
Proper wording is that we have reviewed the site plan. Any other suggestions?
And
on
then we
proper wording?
need to attach conditions.
Yep, and the conditions will be forthcoming. We've got 60 days? Is that right?
Yes. But in general, my understanding is those conditions will be the notes from Mr. Cordiero and Ms. Moran.
Yep.
And along with our general conditions, we have a series of.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, in addition to the general
Right.
conditions, yeah.
All that being said, so moved.
All in favor?
Mike Baptiste, aye.
Julie Moran?
Sam Corbett, aye.
Carl Schultz, aye.
And Jane Gleason, aye.
Thank you very much.
So we will be working on those conditions.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Hope you have a
And
good season.
thank you for the
If it ever
improvements
warms
to the
up.
parking.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Same to you.
Thank you.
Some of these people may be here.
Yes, I want to bring that up at
Yeah. I knew you were all out. over that.
I
know
just,
you're on
I,
top of it.
no, I wasn't, that's the problem.
Oh, you're fine.
We're going to jump ahead here for just a moment, in case there's anybody here for Project 1225, Plan 25-13, 2 East Boulevard LLC, for site plan review of 2 East Boulevard. We've been asked to continue that project. So in case you're here for that, we are continuing it to, do we have a date certain? Is there anybody here online so that we can set a date certain when we're moving this to?
No, when I spoke to Mr. Madden this afternoon, he requested April 13th.
April
Okay.
13th. Ooh, we are filling up.
Sure.
Okay, so,
Madam Chair, is it my understanding there's no one from the applicant here to request the continuance?
apparently not.
Then I move that we deny the continuance.
Second.
We've got somebody here. Never mind. My apologies. We've got someone here.
Madam Chair, for the record, Bob Rogers, Bobrogers from GAF Engineering.
Thank you.
On behalf of 2 East Boulevard,
Thank you.
I would respectfully like to request a continuance to the April 13th meeting.
Terrific.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers.
Thank you. So I would entertain a motion to continue to April 13th.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Rick Baptiste, aye.
Julie Moran, aye.
Sam Corbett, aye.
Carl?
Carl Schultz, aye.
And Jane Gleason, aye. 500. We'll see you on the 13th.
Thanks for being here, Bob.
Thank you.
Maybe.
Somebody. Representation from your office. Okay, so backing up now to item 226-2, Frederick Mannix, site plan review special permit for 238 and 240 Sandwich Road. So, in the name of consistency, if we could have you each state your name and spell it for the record, down the line, and then I'll swear you in.
Okay, Peter Teitelbaum, project attorney. I'll spell it even though it'll probably go wrong in the minutes. Teitelbaum. And to my left is Fred Mannix,
Fred Mannix, Mannix.
property owner,
Patrick Tropiano, Tropeano.
project manager.
Okay, and if you'd raise your right hand and swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Thank you. All right, so, back where we were at our last meeting, which I believe was February 9th? Does that sound right?
Could be. So, yeah. Sounds right. We got the peer review, so we took the last time to answer and get all the things done for the peer review.
Right, so we got the peer review in, and we
The
got,
initial, got the response.
yep, we got the response, and,
And now there's a response to the response. So you've got 3 pieces of paper involved here.
yep. And I had a whole list of questions, and they kind of got answered.
The response.
That's a good thing, not a
Yeah,
bad thing.
yeah,
Very good thing.
Yep.
Well,
So,
hopefully you like the answers.
so just to be clear, maybe I don't have a printout of some of this. We had a peer review on the February 20th. And then,
Got one today.
right, was that one of the ones that just came in?
Probably
That's it.
either 1 minute before
There
or
we
1
go.
minute after the previous
Sorry?
case.
in time.
446.
Okay.
But on my clock, it was prior to 5. What happened
Okay.
after 5?
Again, sorry.
So do we have a,
I had things to do, people to see at 5
Yeah.
o'clock. Shame on me.
can you, Phil, is it easy enough to give us sort of a summary of
Absolutely,
where
Madam Chair.
where we left off?
Yes, of course.
And where we've gotten to?
Yes, of
Or
course.
what's outstanding, I guess, is the big question.
Certainly, happy to go through it and sort of abridge the discussion. The letter today basically stated the technical matters that we had raised, stormwater, layout, those have all been addressed. So we appreciate the applicant making the changes, everything went just fine, we have no issue. We have 3 items to review with the board and ultimately make it discretionary to the board here, as they're not really technical matters. We raise them for your consideration as it relates to the zoning bylaw. In no particular order, there are a couple of comments from our letter relative to drive aisle widths, which meet the zoning bylaws, but don't meet the NFPA regulations for fire access roadways. So all of our recommendation was consult with the fire department, make sure they are comfortable with the one-way direction, and that the widths of these drive aisles, the curb, the radii, the swept path analysis are all acceptable to the fire department vis-a-vis to the board. We don't have any of correspondence to that effect in the record at this point. Akin to the previous hearing, the board may wish to condition it to say subject to.
So was that the 14 feet rather than 20 feet?
Yes, that's correct, Madam Chair. 14
And
rather than 20.
So, maybe you can answer this. The 20 feet, is that for two-way?
It is not. So a roadway, and I'm using the term roadway, but it's not it's a
driveway.
road, a drive aisle, anything that a vehicle can drive upon.
Yeah.
In accordance with the National Fire Protection Association, the minimum width is 20 feet. So that's across the board, flat number. However, there's enough broad regulation in NFPA that if the fire department, if the authority having jurisdiction, AHJ, which in this case is the fire department, is okay with it, they can accept anything. So that was our position, is if the fire department is comfortable with it, because of the nature of the site, because of the circulation of the site, then it is certainly acceptable to us if the fire department is okay with it.
And I think I went looking for a swept path analysis and couldn't find it.
They did provide one, Madam Chair.
Okay.
There was
Yeah,
one
there's a-
in the package.
And I may
There's a
be
reference in
conflating
the Fire
projects.
Department letter of March 9th
Yep,
to,
I may be mixing up
which says
projects here.
they don't comply, but I assume, did you have further conversations with the fire department?
Well, they made us make a couple of changes. We went to Cape Cod berms so that there couldn't be any issues with them going across the edges of the thing. They made us do Cape Cod berms. They also asked us to change the turn at the right portion of the property a little bit, and we did that as well. And then there was some conversation, and we're not privy to it, I'm sorry to say, but they got direct conversation with the engineering firm, as I understand it.
Which would be Ellen Majors?
No, with our engineering
Oh,
firm.
your engineering.
Yeah, they
firm.
asked permission to talk directly to our engineering firm, so we let them. We gave them permission.
Okay.
We gave them permission to speak directly. The fire department wanted to know if they could speak directly.
So for the record, they do have a swept path analysis
They do.
plan.
Yep.
It
Yeah,
is in
got
the
it.
file.
Yep.
It does depict that the Wareham apparatus can circumnavigate the site as they're required to do. With the exception of the roadway width, a couple of other matters, it doesn't check all of the boxes for NFPA 1. However, if the fire department is comfortable with it, it is what it is. It meets the zoning bylaws, most importantly. Secondarily is making sure the fire department is comfortable.
Can the local fire department override the state regulations?
Yes. So
Because there's another business in town that isn't open yet because of this exact issue.
yes, so I know of what you're referring to. In that particular case, the local fire department was willing to waive the requirements, and we undertook a study to see if what they were willing to waive would still work for them, and we all collectively determined it would not. So that's why they were stepping back and asking that particular site and the owner to make some changes. But they were willing to waive them, but in this case, they couldn't because it prevented access from the site.
If you remember, there was a care center once with 90 beds there, and the fire department had approved pretty much the similar, although now they can go around, which they couldn't before. And they had no problem with it. So I'm sure we can come up with them with a final thing that their approval, and you could condition it on that without any issues. We also changed the grade, by the way, to less than 10%.
At that entrance.
Which is a fire department concern as well.
That was the entrance off of Plymouth Road. And that's the one place where there was an issue with, nothing to do with swept path. It had to do with the one parking space that's right on the end by that entrance that was,
That space, Madam, was moved.
okay, was poking into the
It
the
was.
landscape
That's
buffer.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
The
And they have
original,
relocated.
And that's been
originally, they used a 10-foot setback, which was
Yeah,
it
the March
wasn't in the
19th
bylaw.
letter
That was
said
just
that.
Okay.
and
Okay,
Yeah.
they used the wrong setback, so.
got it.
So I guess back on the fire department's letter of March 9th. So my hope is that we could go back to the fire department and they could confirm that they're satisfied with these issues.
Letter to the
Do
fire
we have
department?
the letter?
I have the March 9th letter. Was there a subsequent letter?
No, there isn't
I'm
a
just
subject.
Yeah.
wondering, do we
Oh,
have,
from the fire department.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
It says that.
That would have been the communication with Sam, I would think, but I don't recall seeing that.
I don't recall seeing it. Is there anything?
But you
Nor
know
do
what, let
I.
me check
I don't
my email,
recall seeing it
because
either.
it's possible I missed it.
Is there something,
Letter talks about this issue. They don't comply, which, yes, as Phil said, if they can waive some of that. And then the one hydrant, the place site would restrict access to the site. Did you move the, did you address the hydrant issue in that?
Yeah, there's
second?
two hydrants now instead of one.
right,
Yeah.
right,
Okay, so that's been resolved.
Yeah.
that's been, yeah,
So
that's,
presumably, so, and have you provided the new updated plans to show that to the fire department?
Yes,
yes,
Okay, so they just haven't responded?
correct.
Okay.
yeah.
But-
But,
But it sounds like these issues have been resolved, it's just getting the fire department to
Correct.
You need the
acknowledge.
formal notice.
That's how we understand
Yeah,
it.
That's why we would
okay. I
ask
just
for a
wanted to-
condition to
Yeah.
cover that.
But we
Yeah.
can, you can
Okay.
cover that with a condition, and we'll make sure we
Yeah,
do what
okay.
they have to do.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
it's, again, I,
So you did speak with them on the 3, so that's fine. Okay.
We get it afterwards. We'll get it.
So, Carl, do you have any comments?
No, thank you.
Sam?
Madam Chair, I apologize. I did have a couple of other matters.
Okay.
We-
Oh,
We only
keep going.
focused
I'm
on the
sorry.
fire department.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So I just
That
didn't
was-
want to
Yeah,
lose sight of
yeah.
It
that.
was just one of the
That's why I was
3.
looking expectantly his way.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
One of the 3, got it.
They were kicking me under the table saying, don't say anything. Going our way.
That's why we,
my leg's not that long.
Especially, I got short legs.
that's why we have a glass table.
So, speaking of landscaping, this is sort of an interesting one. For those that have the plans, what I'm about to talk about is along the north property line through here. And our original comment is just ensuring that they had the required landscape buffers based on the use that's on site. And on the north property line, it's actually a unique situation. They have
mixed.
residential and commercial.
Right.
So on one side of the site, it's one depth buffer, on the other, it's a little bit different. So the unique part here is dimensionally, they have a 10-foot landscape buffer, so it is there. But what's unique is within that landscape buffer, there's a chain link fence essentially at the property line. It's an existing chain link fence. They're installing a retaining wall for a change in elevation, and then they will have their site approximately 3 to 4 feet lower than the natural grade today. And they are landscaping within that 10-foot buffer, but it's actually located at the base of the wall. So I raise it in that the plans depict compliance, but the intent of the plan is really to provide visual buffer. And the fact that they're adding shrubbery and trees, but at the base of the wall, that is 3 to 4 feet in height, means the effectiveness of the screening, which is actually intended for the abutter, is not necessarily met here, because the screening is actually on the downslope to the retaining wall, and it will take time for it to grow up and be effective. So I raise that in that dimensionally they have that, but you may decide that the visual buffer intent of the landscape is not met here. Or you may not.
What would happen if that retaining wall came to the curb of the parking stalls, and the planting was on top of it. That would satisfy what your concern is.
Yes.
You have the drawing?
Do you want to?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't want to tell the applicant how to design it, Madam
Right,
Chair, but since
right.
you
I-
did raise
I
that,
Totally appreciate that.
take that wall away from the property line
Thank
and
you,
move
Madam
it
Architect.
as close as you
I'm just
can
getting
to
started.
the
Yeah.
back of those parking stalls to give the natural grade, the buffer to the
To the
abutter.
neighbors, right.
Or otherwise enhance and complement that existing chain link fence that's there, because the zoning bylaws do allow fencing to work as,
That's right.
as
Could
landscape
put
buffer.
slats in the fence, too.
So,
I'm not a fan of that.
And,
but-
yeah, well,
They break, they
just so you know,
crumble.
neither am I.
We like
I was
green.
just trying to
They
cover
make
that.
good
We like greenery.
projectiles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they get pretty ugly after a while.
Yeah, and occasionally they get loose. And they can sound horrific,
You know, I'm
Good
trying to,
wind.
28.
I mean, if you're going to be doing cutting to get the grades where you want them, you probably have some
I'm not-
fill to,
I'm trying to, oh, I see.
Not
I
to
see
be
the
your designer.
26. Yeah, I could see what you're talking about. In portions of it, there's a difference because I'm not questioning your 3 to 4 feet, but it only exists in a couple of spots. In some spots, it's,
well, it's diminishing as it
Well,
goes
well,
across.
Yeah,
as it
it
goes
changes.
across
Yeah,
its length.
I think we could pull that forward. I don't see a problem doing that drainage-wise or anything like that. Not all the way, though. It wouldn't be for the whole 10 feet. I think you'd have to bring it out maybe 3 feet for a planting area, almost like a planting box. That's something I could agree to without talking to John, or Sam. But I think that
It would be-
transition is it kind of varies there. If you look at the existing condition, some spots it's 24, 25, 28, they're all the same. There isn't, if you go on the property, there isn't that much change.
Yeah,
It's pretty gradual. We haven't changed much of the existing topography. There's a couple of spots where it does change. I can see that here, but it might be a hillock. But I don't have a problem making the planting area two-level, if you will. So that I think 3 feet.
So the screen effectively works.
Well, the screen would,
Yeah,
no,
well,
you wouldn't
it
need to
does
screen
what-
it. No, he's talking about putting the plants higher.
Yeah, so the screen would work. The
The plant
plants would
screen
would be
effectively
screened.
screen
It
properly.
would screen it a little higher. I don't think it would occur consistently all the way across. Because where it says 20, 26, the new was in this 31, then at 27 to 30, it's only a 3-foot difference. And down at 28, there is no
so I
difference.
think really the
Be slow.
part
Sheet
that's.
number 4 of 11, I believe is.
Yeah, I'm looking at 4 of 11.
Yeah.
I think it's really the north side that abuts, well, it's behind the dumpsters.
Yes. Yeah,
That's
what-
really the part that I
Right.
think is most of interest to you.
So, it's, Madam Chair, if I may, so it certainly varies, as the applicant pointed out. So whatever effective area that can be provided is helpful. I'll just draw the board's attention, zoning section 1052.4, condition 1, is about shrubbery forming a continuous visual screen of at least 3 feet in height. So in that passage, if the applicant is willing to consider moving the retaining wall, it really does want to be that whole length, wants to move forward, create that 3-foot shelf, and then they can plant the shrubbery along the top of it, and I think they would meet that condition. That's just a suggestion.
But it doesn't necessarily, that moving it away from the property line into the property doesn't have to happen once it turns to the north, and then that angle at the very north part of the property.
That's correct.
It's
because
just along that lower north
It's
part.
it's along the north property line, I guess the longer section of it, for about maybe 150 feet. When it turns further north, they have landscaping
Right.
atop the wall at
Right.
that point.
Yeah.
Right.
So that side is met, it's where the
Yeah,
landscaping
so it's just
inverts.
really the line that goes right behind the dumpsters for the,
Right.
and it's not even the full length of it.
No.
Because the retaining wall doesn't go the full length, because it diminishes into the grade.
Exactly, because it disappears.
Right.
It's essentially, the thing here is there are two lots. So 242 is almost the same. There's very little difference in elevation, lot number
Is it
242.
2 or 3 lots?
Two,
There's two. It's two lots.
subdivided into two
It was
lots.
subdivided back in 20 years ago.
Yep.
So it looks
There
like
were
there
two
are
separate lots.
2 property lines, one that continues down here, and a property line here as well?
That's the new property line. I think it's showing an old, the original land was composed of many lots.
Yeah.
Many parcels,
Yep.
not lots. And it was consolidated into, way back, into two lots, 242 and 236.
Okay, got
11, it's easier to go the other way, it was 1100 and 1101.
it. Okay.
They were subdivided way back. So
Used to be the
there's two
Sushi
existing.
Farm.
What you have is a
Chair,
common
page
driveway.
2, I think, explains it the best. You're seeing 2 dashed lines.
Yeah.
One is an existing lot line, and the other one is a proposed lot line. Right. So they're shifting
Oh, I see.
it.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, so they're shifting it over, and that makes the setbacks of these 2 buildings work
That's
with the
right.
property line.
Yeah.
Right, but I think that's where the confusion of 2 versus 3 lots comes
Yeah,
in,
yeah.
just because of how
Yeah,
it's
thank
depicted
you.
on the plan.
Thank you.
Number 3?
Yeah, number 3.
Wait, if the board's ready to move on. So the,
The planting, excuse me, the planting is 7 to 8 foot high in that area, so it would be sufficient to, I think, to bring it out. I don't know how we'd do it if you want a new plan for it, but I would suggest coming out, I wouldn't come to the curb. I think that would be,
Not all the way to the.
not a way over, I think,
nose.
almost like a two-level area there.
Yeah, yeah.
So you'd in effect have 7 foot, you'd have about a 10-foot high buffer zone, essentially. Because the land in the back goes up, but this land would be down, so that would work. It'd be no impact, I'm just trying not to impact anything else by
Yeah, the
moving it.
drainage and,
You don't need 10 feet of planting for that shrubbery.
right, and if it's up at the
Junipers.
top,
Yeah.
right, if it's up at the top, it will
Yeah,
have its desired effect more quickly.
yeah, no, I think it would be, that's a good suggestion.
and then the third item is really just to sort of check the box, but as part of site plan review, the applicant is required to provide statements on traffic. And they've provided some materials here, and I just wanted to speak to the board about what their intent was. Obviously, the property has a history, there were prior applications on it. Under those prior applications and approvals, they had a different use planned. They provided a traffic memorandum with the anticipated traffic counts based on that former project, but is essentially providing it to become part of the record for this project, saying because it's storage, much fewer trips, therefore, if we were approved for this number of years ago, this project should be almost approved by administratively because it's much less in terms of traffic generation. In terms of the concept, we agree. This project will generate less trips, less traffic than the previous approval. But for particularness of record, they really didn't provide any quantification as to what this project will generate for traffic. And as much as I want to keep these applications as simple as possible, we do also want to make sure that they're complete. So relying upon an older traffic that hasn't been updated with any sort of statement other than a byline in the impact statement under the zoning bylaw, I think is necessary for this project. But I defer to the board simply because the traffic impact is to the satisfaction of the board, and you all may feel that what they've provided is adequate, where I'm suggesting a little bit more. Nothing robust. We're not suggesting a traffic study. There's no reason to provide traffic counts, roadway corridor improvements, level of service. That's not the suggestion. It's simply to say this is our planned use. This is the anticipated trips based on this use. And then if they wanted to compare it to what was previously approved as being sort of de minimis, that's perfectly fine. but it didn't quantify what this usage was, and I think that's the piece that's missing.
Can you tell me the date of that study?
I
That was for, when it was for a care use? With the number of beds?
It turned into a second iteration when there was a potential proposal for 60 senior apartments.
Right.
So you have the first two things. One was for the level 2 care facility with approximately 90 units, and then the second was for the 60 apartments. And they found that the 60 apartments would be a less intensive use than the 90 level 2 care.
They didn't find that.
You didn't find
I
that?
think it's 2020.
Six more.
Six more.
There was,
Okay, I
in
misspoke.
2023, there was a little, I think there was a blip that there were a few, like 6 additional trips
Six
on
additional,
the.
Yeah.
six
Yeah.
additional, yeah.
Sort of negligible, but it did bump up a little bit, but it was in
For
2020.
the apartments?
Yes.
Over the beds?
Yeah, the key thing here is that both studies showed that the impact to the highway, to Route 6, was minimal. With both of those, and you know, in the interest of time and interest of treasure to keep doing this, we felt that it's pretty obvious that this was a much de minimis use. And the important thing is not so much that the number of trips, it's that the number of trips from the past ones had no impact on this road, because the road can handle the kind of traffic that we were proposing to put on it earlier. I imagine we can get some kind of I'd be glad to have it updated or something like that.
We have two
That's
studies
fine.
for
I mean,
basically huge projects compared to this,
Right, right.
both approved.
But I think that having something in writing that meets the requirements of what the bylaw is asking for, that does a comparison of this use to those two uses,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have to be a full-blown study.
Basically a
Because-
statement.
Yeah.
Statement,
You
yeah.
reviewed
I-
the
I-
two
we
reports,
agree.
and this is
Yeah,
your
And
conclusion.
they were so
Madam
many
Chair-
cars per day, and
It's a good-sized firm, and they're pretty busy, so I mean.
okay with that.
We're okay with that. I'd like to, I wouldn't mind.
I don't see
having
it
that
being a
updated.
problem at all.
Madam
I'm
Chair,
not
point of
necess-
order.
I'm not necessarily saying it's a problem.
Whatever.
Carl?
Yes, through you to Mr. Corbett. You mentioned that the two prior applications were approved. I don't believe we approved any. Who were they approved by?
Well, it went to the zoning board of appeals. There were several issues, so the zoning board did the site plan review on the care center, okay? And they-
Right, but not both of them were not approved. Is that
Well, the
correct?
second one we withdrew at the last,
We were to the second.
at the last minute, so.
Okay, I'm only going back for the record. It was said on the record that both of those plans were approved. I don't believe they were both.
No, they were not. You're correct. Only one was approved. One is approved.
Thank you.
It's approved right now. We still have it.
I shouldn't have brought these guys.
Thank you, Carl.
It's approved.
Okay, and then when I have an opportunity to comment, I'll comment.
Yeah.
In fact, we have a directive from the zoning board of appeals that once this is approved by this board, we will turn in the other approval. Which, by the way, will give back the town, I don't know, a lot of sewer. We're holding, I don't know, what is it, 12,000 gallons, 14,000 gallons a day?
Yeah.
All right, well,
Phil, did you have more?
No, those were my three, Madam Chair.
That was it.
And to this point, I know engineers hate inferences, so that's why this third part has been brought up. Lawyers love inferences because it's a shortcut to where you want to go. Engineers hate them because they want the data. And that's the difference between me and Phil.
Yeah, he gets it. My suggestion, Madam Chair, just to put it down in terms of the direction is, if they're okay with engaging Howard Stein Hudson, who's a huge firm, to simply provide an updated memorandum with trip generation for this use in comparison to the prior proposed quasi-approved projects, that would fit the bill.
I think that sounds like
Make that a contingency, we'll be happy to do it.
I think that sounds like a
HSH
proper
is tough,
thing to do.
it's hard to get something out of them in a week.
Yeah, yep, understood. Carl, I see your hand up.
Yes, I did want to make a general comment. I appreciate Mr. Maddox's concern that he's trying to get business done, and he's made several iterations of the plan. That does not abrogate our responsibility to review each plan on its own. And we need to be sure that we're doing our due diligence on the plan that's submitted before us. I appreciate all of those prior discussions, but not all of us were at all of those discussions. So I just think the onus is on us to make sure we're doing our due diligence on the plan before us at the moment. And I think that the compromise or what the applicant is willing to do, but I don't know that we should, and I thank Mr. Cordiero for attempting to work through that. But we have to do our due diligence on the project before us, not all the previous iterations. And if we're going to accept all of those documents from the previous projects, then they need to be read into the record and accepted as part of this project. Otherwise, they're not on the record and not available for us to comment or review.
Just as a clarification, what are you referring to? All these drawings, with the exception of the
No,
traffic
I'm
study.
talking the traffic
traffic
studies
study,
where you
yeah.
were
Okay.
referring to previous traffic studies, and I'm saying I appreciate all the work that you've done. Those traffic studies are not on the record for this application and are not in evidence.
Well,
Well, we did supply them to you.
They were submitted with the application.
with the
Submitted with the application.
I don't understand, I'm sorry, I don't mean to argue with you, but I don't understand.
Wait, okay, I missed them then because I looked for them on the
No,
the website and I
okay.
missed them.
Well, they are.
Well, and to, I
But
think,
I'm happy with the compromise that we came up with.
All right, okay.
You
Thank
guys have to do what you have to do. I mean,
Yeah.
nobody-
Yeah, no one's saying that, but I just, they have been
Well-
put into the record.
I think we should verify that they're there. If not, certainly the traffic,
Well-
the new analysis should
I think the
attach
new
those as
analysis, it
exhibits.
should be
Yes.
attached to it,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that it
They
should.
would be anyway.
Yeah.
Well, and the fact that we're not asking you to start from scratch means that you've got to draw some information from those
Right.
previously
Not a
completed.
problem, it's very simple.
Yeah.
It's simple, because the new traffic study or any upgrade will be based upon the existing conditions, which is Route 6, all the basics in the old traffic studies.
Yeah.
That's why it was submitted, because nothing really has changed as far as the road hasn't changed, so we'll be glad to update it.
And I think, just to clarify, I think the bylaw requires a statement. So this is not a whole new traffic study as we know it. So just so, I
Right.
think that
Yeah.
I'm satisfied with
Right.
statement.
And-
Rather than a wholesale study, which is a very different
It is, yeah.
endeavor.
Well, and that, taking from what was done before makes sense.
Yes.
Same site. So I have some comments that I want to make about the, relative to the design standards and the building design. The design standards are 760, section 760 of the bylaws that talk about the commercial districts, which this is in one of them, being strip commercial. And while I appreciate the plan and the use, I think that they're probably not inappropriate for this location. I'm going to put a really strong ask out there that the building get some more thought. The building itself, I think that I would like it to be a nicer building. I'm going to be really blunt as an architect and come right out and say that. I think that what the design standards ask for in the zoning bylaw are not really being met by the building, by the elevations in particular. I think that while this is a completely utilitarian type of building, it can still be a handsome building. I'm going to come right out and say that. I think that when you read through 762 architectural design guidelines, for instance, it says 762.2, the windows, ground floor windows should be provided for all buildings. Vertical proportions for windows are preferred. There's some of that that's not being given any attention, and I would like to see it get some attention. Convey an appearance of permanence and durability. I'm not sure that I understand what the building material is, that it should reflect historic southern New England architecture. This is not doing that from my perspective. We're building 762.4 building facade articulation. We're building frontage along a street is greater than 100 feet. Architectural elements such as vertical piers, bay windows, recessed entrances should be used to maintain variety along the streetscape. I think that we've got a 165-foot-long building here that's just got,
It's actually two buildings.
well, I'm looking at this plan right here, and it's 165 feet long.
That's one.
Just the one building. And I know there's another building, but this is what we got drawings of, and I understand that it's,
You have
Sort
drawings
of-
from both, I believe.
okay, well, I've got drawings of one of them
Okay.
in my hands. So it's just overhead doors and doors with no windows, no articulation, no canopies, nothing and that faces a neighborhood. So that's what I'd like to see, just a little more attention. This is our town. And I'd like to see it, be something that's handsome in our town, even if it is utilitarian. So that's my ask.
I think the fronts of the building reflect the Cape Cod look, which was mentioned 20 years ago, and that's what we maintained it. There are bay windows in the front on each, the articulation comes out 5 feet.
It's the-
There's the buildings are utilitarian, I mean, that's what it's there for.
Well,
It's certainly,
this elevation right here faces residence, and that's this elevation, which has no articulation on it. That's what I'm just,
I understand that, but how do you I mean, what do you do? There's a limited amount of space that you can have. It's a small building.
I understand that,
It's,
understand that.
I don't know, there's 22 feet on the bays. I mean, the whole idea of this, the premise of this property is to allow small businesses to come in.
Yeah, understood,
So,
understood.
if it's something that's too expensive to build, which is one of the reasons why some of the other stuff can't get built there. So, and it's not utilitarian, if you can't have a garage door that's only 4 feet wide, I mean, it has to
No,
be.
you can have a garage door, but I think that there are some things that could be done to this that make it a little bit more.
We tried to give Sandwich Road some look by having the bump outs and the bays and, whatever, to give it some character facing the road. The left-hand side of that building you're talking about that goes up, that faces an old cranberry bog, except for that one house in the
There's a
front.
house up
Other
there.
than that, there's no neighborhood or anything on that left side at all.
There's a little bit,
There's a
I
little
think
bit of
there are a
neighborhood
couple
in
of
the
houses
back.
up there.
The neighborhood's up in the back, basically, behind it all.
And as far as the property in the back, it's a commercial property. I don't think it's going to stay, it's a junkyard right now, behind us. So at some point, that's going to have to change. I don't think it's going to, I don't know what the story is with that place. But
So it looks like there are 3 houses up that road.
there are 3 houses up there, and I'm talking about the north property line, where everything is in the back on the long building. And it's facing a concrete block building. It's a commercial building, it's an old locksmith place. There's a bunch of abandoned cars and all kinds of stuff there, but that doesn't mean that this has to be the same look. But
Right, that's what I'd like to take us away from.
I appreciate your expertise, but how do you make a garage door look?
You'd be amazed.
I would be amazed.
Give it a
You
try.
can do it.
Well, we could,
Try.
It's doable.
Get your bait can. Put checkerboards on it or
Here,
something.
it's doable. That's 5 minutes. And I'm not the architect, so I'm not sharing that, but that's 5 minutes with a pencil.
well,
So-
I'm not sure, I didn't, you can share it with me.
Yeah, well, I'm not your architect, so, and I don't want to step on toes here, but it's
You're not
doable.
stepping on any toes. You know, I've been very cooperative with this thing.
No,
Actually,
and
with
I
the whole
appreciate that.
process.
I just, that's.
We've
I'm-
changed a lot of things over the years with
Absolutely.
different stuff to make it look good.
Yeah.
And I thought that the front, by as far as articulation goes, by bumping out the fronts 5 feet, they're basically a couple of, it's not necessary for the property. It doesn't add anything to the lease space or anything like that, but it does make it look nicer. And we put the front porch in. I mean, that cuts everything down. I don't understand the windows. There are bay windows in the front. Maybe you don't have it in the drawing. You might have the wrong drawing.
I've got the drawing that's of the building at
I guess this is.
323,
I
at
think the
236.
windows are Too
Yeah.
big, that only
It's
gives
two
the-
buildings.
Right, right, that's this
One on each
elevation right
end.
here,
Yeah, right.
yep. And then it's got windows up above that are decidedly horizontal in their orientation, which is counter to what the bylaw suggests is what they'd like to see.
I'm sorry, I don't have the plan. I didn't bring them with me.
Yeah,
But they're horizontal. I thought they're square windows, no?
they're two square windows side by side, so they make a horizontal
Oh,
opening.
okay. I mean,
So anyway, I don't want to belabor this, but that's just my ask is that,
Revisit it.
Yes.
And try to,
that's what I
Try to
would,
decorate it.
no, I don't want to decorate it. I don't want things pasted to it.
Yeah.
I just
no,
want,
I couldn't agree more, but I mean, what is your suggestion? I mean,
Just
Would you
splitting the two
split-
windows up
split
into
the-
three
split
and
the
having
windows?
more of a vertical element to them?
I think you could look at the design guidelines.
Yeah.
Because I think that gives you some direction.
well, it gives some direction, but it appears that some of the design guidelines that I did follow
Yeah.
are being ignored.
yeah.
I don't mean to,
Well,
so.
It might be a preference for one.
No,
side
no,
versus
no, I don't have a problem with this.
Well, there's
The bay windows-
interpretation for sure, and that's
Right.
where I don't want to,
How do we handle it? I mean, if you don't tell us what you want, how can I give you what you want? We can split those
You
windows.
got to be more specific.
Yeah.
Well, here you go.
How often do applicants come in here and say, tell us what to do?
Yeah,
I don't have a problem. It's all
Yeah.
it's all on pencil, it's on paper.
Is that why you didn't read my letters before?
no, that was 5 minutes while I was eating lunch,
Yes, that's
so
right.
pardon the,
I'm only kidding, Madam Chair.
I would say I don't think it's totally inappropriate for you to share ideas like this, only because if you were going to share these ideas in the zoning bylaw specifically,
Yeah.
you would have put them out to a public meeting. Like, people would have had the ability to discuss these kind of ideas. So I think you providing these ideas to an applicant is appropriate,
okay.
because it helps them understand.
I honestly struggled with how appropriate, how to do this appropriately,
I don't
and,
have a problem with it.
Right, there's a concern that the board isn't here to design projects for applicants.
exactly,
But I think especially when we're talking about something like design guidelines,
yeah.
I think it would be appropriate for you guys to share what the intent is. And you know what, if they build it with the designs that you've given them, and we get a building that looks beautiful, there would be no reason for us to not move forward and try to get the ideals of what they've done into the bylaw under our design guidelines.
Well, if we can do something that is utilitarian, that does not cost a lot, but looks a lot better, I'd
Yeah, how
Be
great,
happy.
How great would it be if we could say, hey, here are our design guidelines, and here is somewhere in town that you can go look at a project that did it great, right? And even, highlight that in some way.
Well, and the tough thing about design guidelines, it's always a difficult thing, is somebody's interpretation of it can be such that and I know this is completely subjective, but you can get something really ugly with what some of the design guidelines are asking for.
Well, don't forget, the board that approved these design guidelines probably had a totally different idea of what was aesthetically
Of what's
pleasing than,
good, right.
Well-
than the five of you that are up here now. Well, maybe not you, because you probably had an input on the design guidelines when they began.
Yeah,
No, but Madam Chair, I mean, I recall when we were working, revisiting them, shall we say, I think that a lot of it was, there wasn't really anything. So people were designing whatever they want, and you really didn't feel that there was a review of the design as part of the process. And our attempt to do that was to incorporate that going forward as part of the process.
Yeah.
And agree, it's very subjective, but the hope is that the aesthetics of these buildings over time, and as we're implementing them and revisiting them, they'll improve, so.
20 years ago, that was a subject that was brought up. Space metal buildings, let's pick on them. Everything was blue tin, and that was it. I've been on the board a long time, as you know. We've had quite a few architects on the board. Anthony was a great help. We had, what's the older gentleman? He was,
Bill Lockwood? No.
no, he was only a few years ago. And they contribute quite a bit, and they've been trying to push to get some kind of design guidelines in, so we get away from that tin box type building. A lot of times we'll say, how about a broken brick facade in the front, to break up the front facade or whatever. Mr. Mannix, in his defense, we worked with him also in the other building. Anthony was here then.
Auntie came up
And
with
she
the
gave a lot
the
of good
left-hand
things.
building. Yeah.
Well, I'm
The
really,
mansards and all that.
I think
Yeah.
that you've done a good job. The building has
Well, one of the things we,
not sitting well with
Yeah, and the thing is, I know where you're coming from, and I sympathize with them.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
thing is, that's something that we should take and put in some kind of, give them some kind of direction.
Right.
Because, like I said, that's been going on for 20 years.
Yeah, well, and I worry that
I
I'm
pick
being
on space metal
inappropriate and
buildings
saying, why
because-
don't you do
oh,
this?
he's right. I mean,
well,
Auntie came up with, we
And her-
turned one of the buildings around because of her.
What the heck was his name?
Let's not
It's an older
forget Brown's
gentleman.
Liquor,
He was on here for a while. He was super.
the old Brown's Liquor Store.
We, I think they appreciate that when
That's
it comes
right.
in.
Yeah.
We get a better
And
product.
one of the things we did, one of the design ideas, our design idea, was to make the front look like storefronts. I mean, the window you're doing, that's more like it's not a storefront, because the idea was to make it look like it's a commercial building.
To me, what I've drawn there looks like an old garage building or, from the 20s.
Well, we want to have people, we anticipate, we could do some retail there. It's a multi-use building, and to have a piece of storefront, it would look good.
But I
mean,
think you could get that
A person,
out
if a
of that.
plumber goes in there, he doesn't even want a window.
Right,
Somebody will break in and steal his tools. But
Right.
we want to make it look like a little strip mall.
yep.
And that's what we
So I
tried to do.
think-
Now, if you think that those windows, the storefront windows are too big, that's,
I think that one had, most of those windows were up on the second level, I think.
no, there's a window in the
There's
first
some
floor.
on the first floor,
First floor, there's a storefront window and an entrance door,
right,
just like you would see in a strip mall.
right.
There aren't too many here. I'm more familiar with Boston. There's 20 pizza places in Boston, all 20 feet wide. And there's a window there, and it's a standard look.
Yeah.
And the other building was made shorter because Auntie did bring it up, that, we had two long buildings there, so we spun it around and added that little jog. That jog is a result of her
Yeah,
saying that it looks, now it's too narrow. When you turn the buildings, one's
Yeah,
too narrow,
so that you're
one's too
seeing
wide.
just the end of it,
So
right.
we stuck I thanked her because I got another unit out of it because of her. Remember that? So I still remember it. I could see her saying she thought I tricked her. I made it wider. She said, now you got another unit. I said, it's thanks to you.
Yeah.
But I did, we made it wider. She was right, and we spun it around. So I agree with you with the look. I mean, it looks to me like you've got some eyebrows down here on top of the
just
rear
something
entrance
over the
doors.
door so that if you're standing there
that-
fumbling with your keys, and it gives you a place to put a light up underneath so it's not in your eye.
That's
and-
that's a good idea. I mean, we'd do that. I mean, That's not a
And then the little gabled bump outs, instead of doing that gable, which doesn't give you any space that you can use up in that gable, up in the peak, just run the roof of the porch all the
Overhang.
way across.
Overhang.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, the roof goes all the way across,
Well,
and then you can get this rhythm of windows up at the second floor that are just,
now we're gonna talk about your idea and my idea. I think it cuts down the look of the building, it doesn't become a box anymore. It doesn't wanna look like a steel box, and it won't look like
Yeah,
a steel
well.
box. Everything in the front is.
yeah, so we can argue,
No, we're not-
argue.
Okay, how can we get by this?
Those gables are gonna be shingled. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
that's.
How do
what
we go
talked about way
forward?
back. Fine.
I don't know, I think I've aired what I wanted to say.
That being said, how do we move forward with that
I
idea?
think we could ask the applicant to review, think about what we've talked about and what you provided,
Yeah.
and hopefully, we'll all meet in the middle at the next
Yeah.
meeting.
That's
How do we handle
pretty
it?
subjective.
It is totally subjective, and
That's
that's why I have a
design,
hard
but
time
that's
sort of
design.
bringing it to the table, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I've sat with it for a couple of weeks now, and
Yeah.
I couldn't not say anything.
Okay, well, yeah, the only thing I could say is that try to explain what's there. a
Yeah,
little bit
no,
better.
absolutely, and I,
The design intent on the gable ends was to cut down the look of that, it's not a box anymore.
right,
And that would be all shingled. It wouldn't be a metal box. It's, you know.
well, it's still got a flat wall behind it, so it is a metal box, so maybe not try to, stick something on it to say it's not a metal box, rather say it's a metal box and put windows across the top and
Well,
give it some reason. Anyway, that's, and we could argue about that until the cows
But
come
this
home.
is-
It's purely subjective, so
Exactly,
I would
that's-
just like it revisited,
Okay?
and maybe you don't change anything, maybe you say, no, this is what we like. But,
I wouldn't do that. I'm just saying, it's, what I'd like to see as soon as possible, because time is running out, I don't want it to go to 25 years. That's my only comment I want to make. And it's not your fault. There's a lot of reason for it. But at this stage, you know, is the site plan sufficient? Does it meet the code? Does it meet the standards that have been set? And I think it does. And as far as the look of it goes, we can, I don't know, you want to see samples? I had brought, last time I came out, I brought some samples. Nobody wanted to see them.
Oh.
But, you know, so the thing is,
remember seeing that.
well, is that something the board wants to do, is go through design review like a BRA thing? I mean, there's all kinds of ways to do it. I think it's hard for me as a developer to come in and satisfy a moving target, you know, and that's the problem.
Yeah, and I appreciate how subjective it is.
Right.
I completely appreciate that. Where do we go with this?
My question, how do
Yeah,
we go
no,
forward?
where do we, how do we move forward?
How do we
I
go?
mean,
I can't tell you how to go forward.
well, I guess the question is, you've heard Jane's ask.
Yeah.
And again, her list is not necessarily, you may not accept all of it, but you may come back and with some ideas, and the building's improved, the facade, the aesthetics of the building is improved, and that's really what we're looking for.
Yeah, I think that's.
So,
I disagree. What he likes and what you like could be totally
Are
different.
totally different. But I'm
Hey.
asking that they just take another look
that's
at
why
it.
we have design guidelines. So the
I
planning
just
board
want them to take another look at
has
it.
the ability to look at buildings and look at the area and look at its utilitarian use, but also to make it an interest, more interesting.
And to understand that there's someone sitting here who understands that it's a utilitarian building, but that doesn't mean that it has to not be an attractive building.
A good example of that, Gene, I guess we can, and I'm on your side, go to West Wareham. Have you seen the new atrocity we have across from Vels? That's a federally designed building for GATRA.
Well,
Gotcha,
What
yeah.
a piece of shit that is.
But we couldn't do anything about that.
Flip,
No,
I haven't been by there. I
go
need
by
to.
and take a
It's a
trip.
state project.
tell us
so
how
we
you
have-
really feel.
See it.
If you drive up the same road, drive up 28,
Yeah.
and it's a couple of high bays. It's across from, or it's next to Noria, and it's dark gray, it's got stone at the base.
The old
That is
Nissan,
a-
the old Nissan building,
I
yes.
think that's right.
Yeah.
That looks fantastic, I think.
Yeah.
And they probably put a lot of money into the aesthetics of it, which, and I appreciate that that's not necessarily where the economics of this project go to, but I think that, you know, you can put a window up that's this shape, and that has a completely different feel than a window of the same dimensions put this way. Completely different feel and much more, this is much more New England than this.
Yeah, and that's something
And
I think
it's-
that.
It's things like
we
that.
should
and-
have in some kind of design guidelines to help out people. You know, Emmanuel, that's his name.
And you talk about Anthony.
That's
Anthony was my first employee.
Yes.
Anthony and I are now partners
Really?
in some other work
Well, tell her thank you for that.
outside of this. So
extra unit.
Anthony and I are on the same page with,
Yes.
we wrote design guidelines a number of times for different communities. So I know Anthony well, and I appreciate, I remember her talking about exactly this
No box.
when you added the, yeah. So
Well,
I've had
that-
conversations with her about
I'm not,
this, so,
my memory's
So it's good,
same as yours.
so,
The thing is, I don't know as an applicant, now speaking as an applicant, you know, it's hard to be this close to the end of the trail and then find out that there's more.
I understand.
You
and I
know,
appreciate
The
that.
goalposts, unfortunately, I feel are moving. And I don't want to have that feeling, but I would, how do I?
Well, at this
how do I
point,
satisfy-
we haven't had any conversation about the
Yeah.
building itself.
I know, but I'm saying.
And I think much of what we've all gone through, as far as goalposts, was the technical review of the building and the stormwater management and parking and traffic. So those are to me, are the major issues. This is, aesthetics is very important, absolutely is. Now that we've got over the technical ones, because if we didn't get over the technical ones, we wouldn't be talking about the facade of your building. So now I feel that we can talk about
I see Carl with his hand
simpler,
up.
simpler issues.
When you're ready, I'm waiting for the discussion to end. So,
Okay.
Is it on this
So-
subject or a new subject?
it is on the application.
Okay.
Several points on this discussion, some other points.
Go.
So, go ahead, Carl.
Okay, so the first is just a comment and somewhat to Mr. Mannix, but a broad comment. Mr. Mannix commented on this process turning into a design review. And I will remind everyone that the rules and regulations of the planning board require that a design review be conducted with the planning office before the application is submitted. Unfortunately, though, that just can't happen, doesn't happen. But that is the anticipation, that the design review gets done and we design the committee and it just doesn't happen. That's a comment. So, Mr. Mannix, we appreciate your concern and we've tried to address that. So now, Madam Chair, I have a couple of questions through you to Mr. Farady, because it's been a long time since we read the public hearing. Mr. Farady, what kind of application are we considering?
This is site plan review.
Site plan review, special permit.
That's why because the applicant keeps saying site plan review, the agenda says site plan review, special permit. The requirements for special permit are significantly different than a special site plan review.
Agreed.
So what are we reviewing? Because the application, Mr. Teitelbaum's application, only checked the box that said site plan review. And I read the
So-
denial letter.
So my
So I'm-
notes, Carl, on that subject, say that per Paul Turner, the special permit is through the zoning board of appeals with a variance application.
Right, which
And
we've
that was
already
for the
received.
contractor bay use. So, and site plan review is through the planning board.
Right. this
So-
is
Okay, so
just
we're
site plan review.
doing a site plan review. Thank you.
Yeah.
That will frame the discussion and my questions.
Yep.
You're right.
Thank you. One more question, because there are several use variances going on. Mr. Barry, what use is this application being considered as?
So it's
Storage.
Was it a contractor bay or storage? But it's
Accessory,
under-
is it an accessory dwelling? Is that the use
No.
in the use table?
no, it wouldn't be accessory.
Well, I read the application and what was on the, so that's what it says over there. So I want to know what use this is being considered as.
I'm sorry, Carl, I missed that. You read it where?
I went to the application page on the town website.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
It said accessory dwelling, I believe, but I may have misread it. So what, just clarify for me what use this is going to be.
So, actually, Mr. Titlebaum, if you want to let them know exactly what you got from the zoning board, I think that would be more appropriate, just because of how the zoning board actually phrased their decision.
Yeah, effectively, Carl, what we went in for were basically a use variance to add the storage use. That's not something that occurs as of right in the bylaw. And so what we asked the zoning board to do was to consider the storage use in association with all of the other uses that are available to people to use in the commercial strip zone. So that's what we came out of there with. Because of the bylaw, we also had to couch it as a special permit with them. Because we were under section 351 of the zoning bylaw, and so that directed me to apply not just for the variance for the use, but also a special permit. So that's why they issued both.
And that's
Okay,
what
so
the
this
denial
use
letter
would be
stated.
all,
Sorry.
okay. Yeah, this use would be all of the uses under commercial strip, in addition, a variance to allow a storage use.
That's correct.
Okay, so our site plan review is looking at a plan in commercial strip, because what triggered this thought was Mr. Mannix saying we're going to consider offering retail. And under commercial strip, retail would be allowed. So that our site plan needs to, and we're not doing a special permit. The variance has been granted, use variance has been granted. So I understand what we're being asked to look at. This is a site plan review, neither approve nor deny. We provide comment and input, and notwithstanding my suggestion that design review should happen way ahead of time, which Mr. Mannix feels acutely. Thank you very much. I understand what I'm doing here tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we are, that is what we all, a group of us drafted it with that in mind. It just, we don't have the staff to do that,
Yeah, and
honestly.
I think I understand the desire for a design review to happen with the planning department prior to an application. I don't know that I would have given any better advice than how this application actually started, which is, hey, look at the zoning bylaw and try to infer what you were getting at.
Yeah.
I think if the applicant here can address some of maybe Jane's points on what aesthetically would be pleasing, it could make my position on a pre-application design review more beneficial to applicants moving forward. If I could say, hey, here's a number of buildings in Wareham that the planning board has deemed
Good
aesthetically
examples.
pleasing.
Yeah.
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 Unfortunately, I didn't have the benefit of going through the design guideline process with the planning board when you decided for that to be part of the process, that an applicant meets with the planning department. And to be completely honest, when I was working alongside Ken, we never had that discussion with any applicants, actually.
Yeah.
So whether it be a failure on the department or what it may be, I think moving out of this application, some sense of what aesthetically looks good around town definitely would assist me in those pre-application
Yeah.
discussions.
Yeah.
And I think that when we looked at that, we did it with the thought to help an applicant as early in the process as we could. We just, we don't have the staff right now to do
Yeah.
that,
And
early in the process, before you ever came before us.
yeah, and I would say even further, unfortunately, there is a clock that starts beginning even before you guys see the application. They apply for a building permit with the building inspections department, they get their denial letter, they have 30 days to act on that, and, by the time you get the denial letter from the building department, for you to gear up and actually get something to the planning department, I don't know that there's actually time in that time frame to actually sit down with me and say, hey, this is kind of what we have in mind aesthetically for a building.
And I think, Josh, not to belabor the point here, I think the thought was, what we really were trying to do is to make sure that the application was complete. All the steps, all the boxes had been, like design review.
Sure.
So you all aren't coming before us, and we're saying we've got to continue because you forgot this, the planning department should have told you this. Not that I'm, Josh, you're amazing, not that I'm saying you, but, and that's really what we were trying to do, is because a lot of applicants were not happy when they were missing certain parts, because frankly, they didn't know. They didn't have even a list of what they were supposed to submit. So we have been trying over the last 2 or 3 years to get our process, so you all aren't here, something like at this stage.
But we have to be consistent as well.
Yeah,
We can't talk about what we've been talking about with them and not other people we've talked to. I mean, we have to be consistent with every applicant. We can't
Have to be
just say,
consistent, right.
we like this, we don't
Well,
like that.
and I think that what I was trying to pull from was the bylaw.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that we have to be consistent
Yeah.
in what we do with every applicant
Yep.
as far as design goes.
Yeah. And I would say consistency starts somewhere.
yeah. Well, and-
Gee, thanks.
If we're being honest, right?
But again, it's not to say that we haven't. We have in many instances suggested
I've
changes to
made
facades.
suggestions,
and-
design suggestions.
Is it a formalized process? No. Should it be? Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're working towards that, so,
Okay, we get to move forward now. What do we do? You made suggestions.
Yeah. Yep.
You may or may not like them.
So we've got a traffic
Update?
update
right.
to do. And if
A
this,
letter.
if this sort of revisit could happen simultaneously, and we meet again.
Madam Chair,
Finalize this. Yes.
again, through you to Mr. Titlebaum. Mr. Titlebaum, I confirmed that the two prior traffic studies are on the website, but they were only recently uploaded, so they weren't there the last time I looked. But they are there now, so they are part of the record.
Okay, thank you.
So if maybe those two things can happen simultaneously and we regroup. That's my suggestion.
Let's say that again.
That there's a traffic review statement
Statement.
that needs to be
Statement.
put together, that's a review of the old ones
Yep.
compared to this new use.
That's easy.
And that's going to take a little bit of time to put together, and that the design revisit can happen
Reflection on design.
simultaneously. And we'll look at those two things at a meeting to come.
I think the traffic,
Madam Chair, to that point, given that this is a site plan review and we neither approve nor deny, do you suspect that any comment from that letter is going to change the site plan?
no.
No.
Then what is our point in waiting for that? Other than saying they should do it and get it filed and make it a condition, what are we waiting for?
Talk about the traffic statement.
That's
Yeah,
easy.
Saying that the site
That
plan
could
will
be just a
change
condition.
based
It's
on.
not going to, yeah, it's not going to change anything.
That's not going to change anything.
Yeah, so that could just be a condition.
Yeah.
Don't have to wait for that.
So
Makes your job easier right now. Right.
the 3 points Phil brought up, basically, everybody has agreed to. The design is kind of up in the air. It's whatever he's basically willing to do.
So it may be that my comments are just,
The handful,
no, but no, I mean, I aired them.
Yeah.
right.
And maybe that's the first step to our aiming for consistency.
Well, I can tell you that
Or Madam Chair, we can make it a requirement.
Well, we got to
That-
start
it's in the
somewhere, and
site
it's not
plan.
fair to start with this applicant at this late date in the process.
Right.
Okay.
And I'm the advocate for it, but I still feel that way. I'm not looking to hold you
I'm
up.
sup-
I just want,
I'm not looking to be held up, but I'm willing to agree with a lot of things, but I hear what you're saying. and
I needed
can-
to air that.
Air it out.
And I don't feel like I have a whole lot in the way of bylaws that demand that you do what I say. I'm not looking
But
for that. I
you,
just,
you brought it up. It's part of what we could discuss in the future.
Yes.
You'd be open a can of worms.
yeah,
And
yeah, right. And I knew this was
Saying that
yeah.
can of worms been opened
Excuse
a
me.
long time ago.
excuse me, knowing Mr. Mannix like I do in the last 20 years, just so you know.
all on this project?
Yeah, long, long time I've known this gentleman. And there's no one as nudgy as Mr. Mannix is.
Nudgy is a good way to.
Nudgy is what I'm going to say. I can tell you right now, he's already thinking in his head of how he's going to do something for you in that respect. Regardless of whether you let it go or you don't, he's going to do it anyway, because that's how he is.
He did that with us before.
Guarantee you, he will do it.
Well, Carl has made an excellent point. The site plan's not going to change based on this traffic
I
letter.
appreciate the point, and I'll volunteer this. I think you should have guidelines, and I think a process before, if you're interested in the look of something, it should be done in advance, because I hate to bring up money, but it cost me $160 just to get those prints brought out to you guys, and that's probably the fourth set, and I'm not saying it's a whim, but, it costs money to reproduce,
I
it costs time.
totally
and everything.
appreciate that.
So I think, I'd be more than happy to sit down with the board, with Josh, and go through a little bit of it. I appreciate what you're saying, and after
Yeah.
the fact.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
And I'm happy to do it that
It's
way.
as simple as that.
Yeah.
Because we don't have anything in place, and this, as I said, is
Believe me,
one
I've
step
had a lot of
closer to a
experience.
consistent plan.
Yeah.
So,
I've had a lot of experience with design review, trust me. And I'd be more than happy to see it, because it would make the town look nice. I've had a history with this town, I've been here for a long time.
If you'd been to the BRA, you'd know what we're talking about.
Yeah,
oh, yes, I have.
Got it?
trust me.
Yes. I remember.
The Cape Cod Commission.
I still have the scars, yes.
That's right. Scars is appropriate.
Just say no, basically.
Or the Cape Cod Commission.
Oh, yeah, that's another one.
We spent 3 years in front of them about a foundation, so
Madam Chair, where would you like to go with this?
I would like to entertain a motion. Do we have anybody in the audience who'd like to speak?
Kathy Papalardo had her hand raised for a little while.
Kathy, if you can hear us,
Yep, John's gonna have to promote her.
There
Here
she
we go.
is.
okay.
Kathy?
Hi, guys. This is Nancy. Sorry, Kathy is at
Nancy.
Historical Society, and I've hijacked her laptop. And I just wanted to say two things. One, I've worked in buildings that have floor-to-ceiling windows that are actually part of an office or a storage unit or something like that. And then they get cluttered up with assorted boxes that are stacked up there, and they're really not very attractive from the outside to start with. So if you're going to put windows at the back of those entrances or at those units, you might want to bring them up to at least like waist high or something, so you can have some storage underneath it, or at least put a desk in front of it. But that's one thing. And I personally like the littler ones that are the 4x4 or the 2x2 that are 4 little windows at 2 different sizes above and beyond. Those are cute. But that being said, I haven't seen any solar on those roofs. Now, the trees there are already gone, or will be, and that's an opportunity for making some more money out of this flat roof. It really pains me to see that there's no solar on those 2 buildings.
Thank you.
So that's the extent of my comments.
Okay, thank you, Ken.
Thank you.
Thank you. And the trees are not gone. I looked at Google Earth, and they're just deciduous trees, and it depends on what time of year you're looking at it, I think.
Agreed.
And solar would be lovely. Great, but that's the applicant's choice.
I think you're looking for a motion to close the...
I am looking for a motion to close the public hearing. Thank you very much.
Second. Second.
Sorry, I'm rambling.
All right.
All in favor?
Mike Baptiste, aye.
Julie Marie and I.
Sam Corbett, aye.
Carl?
Carl Schultz, aye.
And the chair votes aye. Public hearing is closed. And I think we have a number of conditions that we've been talking about to condition this with. We've got a set of standard conditions that we've got 60 days after a vote to put together. Is there anybody who has anything more that they want to talk about with this?
Motion we grant the application.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Again, point of order, we
Yes.
don't grant the application.
No, it's that we've reviewed it.
Yes. Completed our review.
Good point, Carl.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Mike Baptiste, aye.
Julie Marie and I.
Sam Corbett, aye.
Carl?
Aye.
And Jane Gleason, aye. So,
Thank you very much.
Very much.
You've been great to work with.
yeah, thank you.
You have been good.
Thank you for your patience
I'll work with you some more. I'll follow through on
and hopefully a little imagination.
And
that. I will.
before you take that sketch away,
You and Anthony, you know,
Can you
they
get a
talked about you ahead of time.
picture of me and Mike together? We've come a long way.
no, I
Oh,
just
I'm
want
sorry.
that.
Yeah, we need the before and after.
I want to go down there when you cut the ribbon. We're going to stand on Angus's parking lot.
That's a good idea. That's a great idea.
That is a great.
And I'm open to a conversation
Thank
if
you.
you
And I'll
want.
have
That's just chicken scratching on paper. So.
I just wanted to add, I was here the last time you guys were talking about design standards for Wareham Village, and there was a lot of agonizing over, with the increased height in the zoning and everything else that went through, and there was a lot of concern about what could end up there. And so, at that point, I was on the redevelopment authority, so I wanted the wild, wild west. I didn't want a lot of restrictions. But when it was categorized that it should match what is there, and I thought about the absolute hodgepodge of construction that was down there, I shut my mouth. Because I can make an argument for almost any kind of building other than something that is entirely glass to go in Wareham Village. So the whole design standards thing, it's
hard.
fascinating.
It's really,
been a long
it
road.
is a very difficult thing to put
Yes,
together.
yeah. I think every
effective
town struggles
guidelines
with
that
it.
get you where you want to be.
Every town struggles with it, I know.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's a real challenge, yeah.
I mean, if you're as consistent in your downtown as, say, Marion is, where everything is cedar shingles and,
Yeah, I
white
know.
trim and
I
stuff
know,
like
it's
that, it's a lot easier job for them.
This is
But when you're looking at a town that's trying
You don't
to,
necessarily want it to
Oh,
be that homogeneous.
It's kind of all the more important here to do that if you can, but it's hard.
yeah.
We talked about this.
Some of these
We've had-
buildings
Gotta
do not do
keep
well
going
with
here.
in-
doing
Mr.
anything to
Mannix,
them,
great
honestly.
guy.
Oh, yeah, the
We've
use,
gotta
the
keep
use makes
going.
them ugly, right out
Lipstick
of
on
the
a
gate.
pig.
Yeah.
That's
I
one of the
mean,
reasons he got off.
there's no way you're gonna take
Because we were
somebody's,
pushing with Ken,
gas
we
station
wanted some kind of
drive.
design guidelines,
I know.
and he just totally didn't want to hear it.
Okay, thanks,
Thank you.
thank you.
And that's one of the reasons he left. And like I said, we've always had good
Moving
input.
along here, we've got a public hearing for Broad Cove Path. Do I have a
You're the
a
applicant
hearing? Yeah, do we have the applicant here?
Yes, it's
here? Oh, no.
Mr. Rogers.
Oh, Bob.
Oh,
So
Sorry,
we're
Madam.
opening a
This is
public
a-
hearing.
No, you are not.
Okay,
Chair.
okay.
This is a public meeting for a Form B preliminary subdivision.
Okay, so not a
Not
public
two
hearing,
hearings.
public meeting.
okay.
Correct. And that's exactly, and so there was a legal ad for the public meeting notice.
Okay, it's on our agenda as a public hearing. That's why I was looking
Yeah,
for the
it-
language.
Right, it's just a distinction that
Yeah, yeah.
doesn't happen that
Yeah,
often.
no.
That's all. Do you each have plans? Because I
Yes.
had some, but
Yeah,
if you
we do.
have them, that's great.
Mr. Rogers, I do not, but I will follow along.
Thank you.
Before
It is
you
online.
begin, Madam,
It is
Yeah.
all online.
well, that's going to be part of my problem. I can't find any of this stuff online.
Yeah.
So through you, Madam Chair, to Josh, what is the project number for this application?
Josh stepped out for a moment.
So if you go to 22 Long Neck Road, you might find it by the address.
Try that.
Okay, I don't even have that, so,
So, but there is
Thank
a
you.
number on the agenda.
Well, if you go to the portal,
no, there's no project number on the agenda.
no, but if you go to the portal, online and type
That's-
in 22 Long Neck Road,
Yeah,
And where would I have gotten that address
you
from?
wouldn't.
you wouldn't. We're giving it to you now.
Yeah, you were correct, you couldn't find it.
Well, it would be in the public notice
Yes.
of the meeting.
Yeah,
So it's Plan 26-6, Carl.
okay.
It's searching, hang on. 26, I got it, thanks, Bob.
There's
You're welcome.
Okay,
Sorry for,
all right. We'll have to make sure we include that going forward.
so not to complicate things, but so the board can't always make a decision that a preliminary plan has to hold a hearing, but in this case, it's such a simplified subdivision. I'll be quiet and let you open the meeting however you like, Madam Chair.
Yeah, without the language, I'm not sure.
Do you want,
No, it's not a public hearing,
No,
Jane.
it's just a public
it's a-
We
meeting.
don't have
I
to,
mean, you can read the
it's
notice
just,
of the public.
Well, I was going to read something
Yes,
into the record.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so notice of public meeting as opposed to hearing. The planning board will hold a public meeting on March 23, 2026 at 6 PM in room 520 of the Wareham Multi-Service Center, 48 Marion Road, Wareham, Massachusetts, 02571, to consider petition number Plan-26-6 for a preliminary subdivision plan properly named, quote, Broad Cove Path, unquote, from the requirements of Mass General Law, Chapter 41, Section 81S, to Buzzards Bay Coalition, care of GAF Engineering, Inc., 266 Main Street, Wareham, Massachusetts, 02571, Subject property is located at 20 to 22 Long Neck Road, Wareham, Massachusetts. Assessors map 10, lots 1009A and 1010A-1 in the MR30 zoning district. The purpose of the subdivision is to divide lot 1010A-1 into two lots, one for the conservation restricted land and one for the existing dwelling. Thank you.
No, you're quite welcome. Oh, you can keep it.
Okay, thank you.
While we're getting ready, Madam Chair, sotto voce, this is the right way to do an A&R for this kind of work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can explain it. How, do you want me to wait for Josh, or do you want me
Yeah, I
to
was
just?
sort of waiting for him to come back. I think he might be chatting with somebody out in the hall.
I think you can start.
So, 1010 and,
So we're focusing on 1010.A-1, right?
So I can explain.
That would be good.
yeah.
Madam Chair, Bob Rogers, for the record, GAF Engineering.
Thank you.
On behalf of the applicant, the
And I'm
Buzzards
gonna-
Bay Coalition.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you very much.
I do.
Proceed.
So if we were able to do this under the A&R process, Carl, we would have, but the problem is that all of the frontage on Long Neck Road, until you get to the proposed Broad Cove path, so that's all part of the conservation restricted land. So all we're trying to do with this.
Madam Chair, thank you, Mr. Rogers. That was my comment to the board because we've been struggling with this. People trying to do what you're doing using the A&R process and getting pushback from me
Okay.
because
So-
they don't have frontage.
So there's a lot of different access points to this piece of being the bog roads, but in a nutshell, we have an existing dwelling at 20 Long Neck Road that was constructed in 2010. I'm sure that 22 Long Neck Road was prior to that.
Yeah.
And so all we're doing is overlaying a 40-foot wide street layout on top of the existing gravel road access, just so that we can convey the restricted land to the Buzzards Bay Coalition, and the Piscatellis can do what they will with the house and not have to, sell it the way it is. It's all for the benefit of separating the massive amount of land that's restricted from the single-family house that's been there for a long time. So when we come back sooner rather than later with the Form C, we will have notice to abutters and a hearing, but we will be asking in a letter for a waiver of all road construction that's listed in the regulations, because we are not proposing any additional units of housing whatsoever. You know.
And then that will be the thing I want to study, Madam Chair.
In what regard?
Subdivision.
Oh, is it adequate access, and
Yep, okay.
do they meet the requirements? I'm not, and we don't do that during the preliminary. What we do is we
Yeah.
provide feedback to the applicant during this process and
Yep.
saying, that's going to be my area of reflection.
And again, I would stress that it's the same access as the existing houses for many decades.
I'm not, thank you. I appreciate that. It's not a challenge, Mr. Rogers. It was.
Correct.
So I do have a question about, and this is a technical question about what you can count as frontage, because can you count the 40-foot dimension of the road layout? That's where
Yes,
it's at the
yes.
end of it?
Yes, correct.
The curve, you mean?
No, if you can count this, the dimension of this, and the dimension of this.
I can't see what you're
I'm
pointing at,
sorry.
Jane.
So the dimension that goes across and at the ends of the roads. There's sort of a T.
Yes,
There are
yes,
two
we would.
40-foot dimensions that I didn't know if those could be part and parcel of the frontage number.
Yes.
Yes, but my question is going to be, and because we're doing a preliminary, my question is going to be, is it an adequate way?
Yeah, right.
And
Understood.
if he's not going to construct it, even though it's been used in the past, I'm not sure that it's adequate for the purposes of the subdivision. That's my question for the future.
Understood.
Because in general, when we do a subdivision, we're expecting that roadway to be constructed.
Because we're creating new residential units, new lots, and so this is a new one for me in my 40 years in the business. I don't think I've ever done a Form C where you didn't get anything out of it except a separation of conservation land from an existing house. It seems reasonable to think that we can make it happen without chasing our tail by requiring new construction that would then require something else like drainage or.
Right.
So
but
we
what
will
we've been
be
struggling with, Mr. Rogers, and I think you're taking the right approach, which is what I've been arguing, is this is a subdivision. The question is, and it's about that other piece of property would not have adequate frontage for an A&R. This is the right way to do it, but the question then is, we're moving to the next step in our journey, is what constitutes an adequate way, and that's the thing we're going to have to study, Jane. Is it's part of our understanding of subdivision control law, and Mr. Rogers and the applicant are taking what I believe is the right approach. This is a subdivision of land.
Yeah.
Because both lots don't have adequate frontage.
Right, and you get
Then the
access-
question is, do you have to build that road
Right, you
to
get access
make
and
sure we have
frontage.
it,
Right, but
to
we
get
need to,
access?
right, we need to just,
So I would just say that you should all take a ride out there when you have a chance and travel down Long Neck Road and take the left at and drive by number 20 and drive up towards number 22
yep.
and see for yourself.
Yeah, so, Mr. Rogers, for the final plan, just make sure if you're going to do the full subdivision or the Form C, just put the road dimensions down and construction, 20 feet wide, gravel, what the base is, just those kind of notes, and then that would give us an ability to assess adequacy, I think. Is it a 20-foot wide road?
So it's a gravel access to the Cranberry Bog. There's a shop there, that large industrial building. So this is the road, if you will. Again, gravel that's been used to access that Cranberry Bog maintenance building, for lack of a better word, and the house at number 22. So it's not uniform in any stretch, and some of it's in better shape than others in terms of potholes, but it is something that's been there for so many years, and we do not want to spend money to how would I say, to
Improve the road.
well,
Yes, but, okay, I appreciate all that. So my questions are going to continue to be, the definition of an adequate way is it's been accepted by the town, not for ownership, but it's been accepted as adequate by the town. And then we have to consider fire access. Those are questions that I'm going to ask when we do the form.
And that adequacy is for emergency vehicles.
And we have a definition of an adequate road in the subdivision control law.
So if I lived at 22 Long Neck Road for as many years as I suspect the Piscatellis had, and I didn't think that an ambulance or a police car or a fire truck could get to my house, I think I would have taken care of that, but
Yeah,
certainly the
it's
best.
not up to them, though.
the
It's
best-
not up to them.
Again, Carl, we're not creating any new house for any new person to have to struggle to get to their new lot. It's.
Mr. Rogers, this is, you presented your thing. It's an opportunity for us to discuss. I'm trying to provide to you my questions and concerns. We can't, as you know, with this process, we don't make mandates or tell you what to do for a Form B. But, Madam Chair, this is a question I've been continuing asking for clarification on every A&R that's been before us. And Mr. Rogers, and I'm supporting you. I'm trying to be supportive. But if you remember, there was another application where we forced the applicant to build the road.
I assume he was creating a new lot.
Nope, he was doing exactly what you were trying to do. He was trying to move a lot line.
Okay. Well, we'll be hoping to prevail on our request to not provide any construction other than the filling of potholes.
And I appreciate that. And that's why I'm not trying to argue with you. I am trying to push the town to give us clear direction.
So I guess I would say that any assistance that we can get from you about the composition of the existing road would be helpful in what we need to look at.
Sure.
Or, anything that would
A letter
get us
from-
to.
A letter from the fire department saying they feel
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
can
Get-
make their way out there.
Get us to the point where we can say this is an adequate road.
And
According
that's defined in the,
according to what's in the subdivision rules and regs.
right.
That's what we're sort of charged with is,
No, I understand. So we understand the regulations and,
Yeah.
and, so we will be requesting the appropriate waivers. And so then we'll go from there. We'll just, with pictures, dimensions, what have you, but, again, this is about separating what's being conserved from
Yeah.
an existing residence.
yep, totally understand the whole intent.
Yep.
Okay, and I was just trying to be upfront, Mr. Rogers, with my struggle.
Does anybody have any further questions?
I had similar to Carl,
Yeah,
given what we've been dealing with recently.
yeah.
Yep. Okay, no, I don't have anything else this time.
I think that kind of sums it up as
Okay. Yes.
whether that road is.
So my understanding is you would issue a letter, decision. We still, I don't expect the Board of Health to comment, I don't expect anyone to comment, but we distributed the plans and the 45 days for the board to issue a decision expires after your next meeting, but I think it's April 24th, is when the 45 days are up. And so, we'll be preparing the Form C submittal. And again, there's no new houses, no new septics, no new anything, so, if we're forced to do something, we would do an RDA with Concom, but anyway, that's enough.
Do you have anything, Josh, that you want to add?
Do you have a submission date in mind for the Form C? Just trying to
Well, we have
plan
to
out our
reference,
future here.
so we have to reference the preliminary plan approval. And so the date the preliminary plan was filed, the date it was approved, that goes on the form for the Form C. So we can get our, retitling of the plan together and our waiver letter and that type of thing. But, you know, I would hope maybe, you know, if we can get it filed and not have to wait the 45 days, that would be one thing. But at the latest, we would file the end of April, but then we're stuck with the 2 notices in the paper, 14 days. So, you know, we'll just do it as best we can, that's all.
Yeah. So, what do we need to do here? Do we need to continue this
To the 14th,
to the-
13th?
to the 13th?
It's just a meeting, you can leave it on the agenda, it's a meeting item at this point.
Yeah, okay.
If we need it, yeah.
Phil, do you have anything you want to add?
No, I do not, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you.
So, Madam Chair, through you to Mr. Cordero, I am relying on the guidance that you gave me for the project at Seahorse Lane for what an adequate road is.
Understood.
And if you think I'm misapplying the law or please let me know. I am going to continue to request the chair to get us clarification on these points.
Madam Chair, I'd be happy to discuss it with Mr. Schultz or the board, or we could talk about it, and the applicability of the adequate way decision from Seahorse Lane versus an A&R versus this Form B at any point.
Yeah, I would like that.
That'd be helpful.
That would be helpful.
So maybe on the 14th, if this is on the agenda, we could do it as part of that. But I'm still looking for an official statement from the town.
On what's an adequate way?
And the whole A&R process, it's all tied into it. And I laud Mr. Rogers and the engineering firm. This is the right way to do what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
Now, he wants us to stop short, but this is the correct process
Well, maybe not
and the
stopping
correct
short.
form.
If it's an adequate
Well-
way, then it's an adequate way.
Right.
Well,
So-
yes, but he's hedging his bets.
Rather come in as an A&R, right?
I'm advocating. I'm advocating for conservation, Mr. Schultz.
Yeah, I hear you.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, so we'll see you on the 13th, Monday the 13th.
If you would like me to be in, if it's necessary, then we will. I mean, because we're not changing the plan, and you're just deciding what your decision is going to be worded, how it's going to
We
be
need to
worded.
look at whether it's an adequate way or not.
Right.
That's the question that's still hanging out there.
Well,
We approve Cranberry.
But, Madam Chair, the point I would offer is it doesn't have to be an adequate way on this plan, but on the Form C, it has to be.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I would actually echo what Mr. Schultz just said. For purposes of this, my experience with the Form B, you all could give Mr. Rogers direction tonight and issue a decision on this.
Okay.
With the notes of, we would like this information to be conveyed on the Form C, including
Okay.
statements regarding adequacy of way, applicability, et cetera. And then it allows him to move forward and file the application.
Sorry, I'm a.
Right, and thank you, Mr. Cordero. That's what I was trying to do in all of my feedback to Mr. Rogers. I was saying, this is what I'm going to look for on the Form C,
So
which is what the purpose of this application is.
Describe the way, the width all along and the adequacy of it. So give us the specifications,
It's a
yes.
bog road.
Yeah, I know. Like so many in Wareham,
Okay for A&R.
yeah,
Yeah,
Roads are good.
yeah.
so,
All right, well, that's my input. So we could do what you want. I think we could close this
meeting.
hearing, or not a hearing, this meeting
Meeting.
with and if Mr. Rogers understands, he doesn't have to agree with me, but if he understands my concerns, we've given him direction.
Okay,
Yes. Nope, I get it. I appreciate it.
Okay.
all right, well then I would entertain a motion to
Close the public meeting?
Close the public.
No,
meeting.
it's, no, we don't have to close. The
Yeah.
question is, how do we word a Form B application?
Comment?
Is it, I think we approved the Form B as commented,
Okay,
or as, I think that's what we have to do. We approved the Form B. It gets approved and with comment.
I'd entertain a motion to approve the Form B with comments,
So moved.
Comments provided.
with the
right.
comments provided,
Second.
yes. All right, all in favor?
Jeff Eastie.
Julie Moran, aye.
Sam Corbett, aye.
Carl?
Carl Schultz, aye.
And Jane Gleason, aye.
Okay, thank you.
So that's a great segue into something that I've been working on. I've had discussions with Attorney Silverstein from Bobrowski, Silverstein, and a few other names I'm misremembering right now. But Mr. Attorney Silverstein is willing to put together a presentation and field questions for the board on all things A&R, subdivisions, adequate ways. I'm sure he's willing to throw that in there as well. He did offer to go into the specificities of open meeting law and some other things like that, but I urged him to keep in,
Focus
A&R
on-
subdivision,
Got that
that
part.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What I am
And just let them know what we've been struggling with, Josh.
Yeah, by example, I gave him an example of the prior A&Rs that you guys have been facing just recently. He understands, kind of the mode of what should be presented. And, honestly, through our discussion and him doing this a number of times with other planning boards, he said, it starts off with my presentation, I get halfway through, and then we field questions for the remainder of the night, because you guys understand your concerns way better than I do putting a presentation together.
Yeah, yep.
There is...
And
go ahead, Carl.
I was going to, I thank you. I'm really, really excited. Could we extend an invitation to Mr. Cordero to attend? Because he's one of our key advisors, and perhaps he could help me frame questions.
Sure.
I know we have to pay him, but I'm asking if we've got money to pay him to come.
Carl, that's a beautiful segue into what I was getting to next. I have to pay Attorney Silverstein to come and give you guys some type of presentation. I was going to open that up to maybe an adjoining communities planning board. His fee is $1,500 if he did it on Zoom, $2,500 if he did it in person. So understanding that's a considerable cost. He had no apprehension to me bringing in another planning board and trying to split that cost with another community, which is something I will quickly look into, understanding that you guys probably want this training sooner rather than later.
Even better if it's more than one other community.
Yeah.
Right. My fear is if
well-
you bring in 3 or 4, then there's 20 planning board members
That's
up
true.
there trying to ask this gentleman
Yeah.
questions.
Well, 2 or 3, including us, would be
Yeah.
probably fine.
That would be chaos. I don't,
Right.
I'm not in favor of that.
Right. I figured
Nor am I,
maybe
frankly.
I figured maybe one additional planning board.
I
If-
can't believe the town can't come up with $2,500
$500.
to do this.
I'll make no comment on that one. if
A
you,
lot less
yeah.
than the lawsuits.
So I think,
Shall we lobby?
yeah, I think we're in a good place. The last conversation I had with Attorney Silverstein was, we were kind of gearing up for that second week in April. I told him, the third and the fourth week with town meeting would be probably not doable. But his question to me was whether you guys wanted to meet off cycle or if you wanted him to come prior to your meeting. 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock or something.
Yeah, in other words,
Like go to the 11th of May? Or,
If you want to push
Or-
it out that far, I think that was definitely on his radar as well.
or are you thinking town meeting night, just earlier?
No, I was thinking the week of the 13th.
Oh, the 13th, earlier.
April 13th?
Yeah. again, if you guys are feeling overburdened at that point, we could definitely push it out into May.
We got a pretty darn full
Well,
schedule.
we also
that night.
have zoning bylaw, two of us are on the bylaw committee at 2.
It
Yeah.
definitely could be an off-cycle kind of thing. It could be, I
20th?
Yeah,
I
maybe.
hesitate to say midday,
That
only
week's
because he is working,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think he preferred something in the evening,
Okay.
but
Yeah, if we do it on 4/20, nobody will remember anything. Sorry.
it was there. So I guess the question I need answered leaving tonight is, when do you guys want to do it? Do you want to do it off-cycle, or do you want to do it prior to a meeting, you know?
If we did it prior to the meeting, you'd have to do it the 27th, but that's
Yeah.
town meeting.
Or we push it out into May. There's no,
May 11.
yeah.
I mean, we could do May 4th, and that's an off-cycle.
Yeah.
Yep, we'll have to get creative with the rooms, but that's no problem. I mean, if it's, I highly doubt many people from the public would come to hear a presentation about A&Rs, so I'm not worried
Okay.
about the size of the room.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, maybe we aim for May 4th.
okay.
Does that work for everybody?
Put it on our calendars now.
As far as I know.
Okay, let me reach out.
The only comment is, I may be going cross-country in May, but just don't let that stop you.
Would you
you-
be willing
yeah.
to do it remotely?
Oh, if I can, but
Yeah.
I may be in Wyoming or something, so I don't know. I did buy the Starlink, so I'm using my Starlink to
there you
make
go.
sure.
I do think, Carl, it's important that you.
You're a
you
really
be
key
part
component of this meeting. Yep.
You have a lot of
All right,
questions.
well,
So,
just go for the 4th and we'll figure it out.
all right, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, anything else?
Motion to adjourn.
Not this week. Second.
All in favor?
Mike Baptiste, aye.
Julie Moran, aye.
Carl Schultz?
Yeah, my earbuds failed, but yes.
Okay, and Jane Gleason, aye. Thank you, one and all.